Do you know what SAFE is? No worries. I will walk you through on Scale Agile framework, and in short form we call it SAFE. As a prerequisite, I hope you are already aware of Agile and Agile methodologies used in project management. If not, I would request you to learn and know about Agile and Agile methodologies first, as that will help you to understand SAFE in a better way. All right, so let's get started. As the name SAFE indicates, SAFE it is scaled agile framework, and it's a framework that provides guidance for adopting and implementing agile practices at scale in large organizations. It is designed to help organizations so that it addresses the challenges of coordination in bigger teams and delivering complex projects involving multiple teams, programs, and portfolios. So, coming little more closer, what problems do SAFE solves, or what it could be used for, or where it could be used? So, here are few important aspects due to which we need to scale agile. For example, in organizations where we need to manage bigger and multiple programs in parallel, or maybe where we need a better risk management at program level, or need to manage dependencies between huge and multiple teams in a bigger projects, or for projects where we are building one big system and we need better integration for a working software. Now let's look at a real life example of banking system where we want to build this huge system and want to achieve quality and faster delivery to market. As shown in this picture, we have four programs, starting with personal banking and then corporate banking, loans, and investments. And there could be more programs as well. And each program has sub modules. Here, for example, personal banking has sub modules as user management, balance and statements, money transfers, or credit cards, debit cards, etc. Now we can manage the implementation and delivery of each submodule of a program through some Scrum team. And to achieve faster delivery to market, we cannot wait for a single team to finish implementation for one of these submodules and then picking another submodule and so on. So the solution is, instead we would like to have multiple teams working in parallel for each of these submodules of a program. For example, dedicated team will be working on user management module, and then another dedicated team for balance and statements, and so on. So now there would be some challenges because of multiple teams working parallelly on these submodules. Like one of the challenge would be functional and technical dependencies. For example, functional and technical dependencies between those modules and teams, wherein user management team will need to make sure that they need to build a authentication and authorization API so that the other team and modules could use those APIs to make sure that only valid users should be able to access their balance and statements, or to transfer money, or to set up a required setting related to their credit or debit cards, or so on. Likewise, product owner and product manager will also need to make sure that program level and team level backlog are prioritized for same, and it should be it should be effectively defined in the right direction. And this is a very important aspect to make a successful program. Now let's consider about some technical decisions. For example, who will be accountable and responsible for taking technical decisions for multiple teams? We want some technical experts here who will make sure that whole program teams are following the technical best practices and direction to meet technical quality standards, and each module's technology should be compatible and interoperable. Similarly, we will also have multiple program level challenges now, as along with the multiple teams working together for a program, for example for personal banking, there are also other parallel programs that we need to take care of. For example, we have corporate banking, loans and investments at program level. Now as personal banking program, uh, we may need 5 to 10 teams working on respective submodules for user management, balance and statements, money transfers, and so on. Likewise, the other programs, for example, corporate banking, loans, and investments, those programs will also need multiple teams. They might need maybe approximately 10 teams for their submodules for each program. Now, we can pretty much imagine the level of dependencies and risks at program level, as we are now talking about 40 to 50 teams working together to deliver a banking system, meaning that a huge team of 350 to more than 500 people working together to meet quality and faster delivery to market. Now the question is, can Scrum, Kanban, or any other agile methodology has the capacity to deal with such big and huge programs and systems? I don't think so. So what's the solution? So the solution is scaled agile framework. And SAFe is a lifesaver here, as it helps us to scale agile and appoint key owners for the whole system at a different roles and responsibility levels. And these appointed key owners will be accountable for the success of whole program and system through better collaboration and by taking key responsibilities as per the program and system needs. Now let's look at team level starting from the very bottom, wherein team is the heart of foundation of SAFe. And as we all know, we have three key actors in a Scrum team, which is team, product owner, and Scrum master, where Scrum team is self-organized team operating and defining the best way for themselves for delivering and aiming for the sprint or iteration goal achievement. Each team will work on the program's submodule. For example, one dedicated team will work on user management module and the other dedicated team for balance and statements, and so on, so that there will be at least 5 separate dedicated teams working for these 5 submodules, which are user management, balance and statements, money transfers, debit and credit cards. And each team's product owner will be owning the team's backlog for his her team at a team level and will work with the assigned team for features and module deliveries. Similarly, coming to program level, whole program is managed through program layer, and we will need same number of program layers equivalent to the number of programs. Like in our case, we will need 4 program layers for personal banking, corporate banking, loans and investments. Now let's look at product manager at a program level. Just as product owner owns the team level backlog for his team, product manager owns the program level backlog for the particular program. For example, one product manager will own the program backlog for personal banking program, and another product manager will own the program backlog for corporate banking program, and likewise the other product managers for loans and investment programs respectively, and they will be responsible and accountable for their respective programs. Now product manager will coordinate and collaborate with product owners of their respective programs submodule team. For example, product manager of personal banking will work with product owner of user management team and with other product owners of their respective programs teams. For example, balance and statements, transfers, credit and debit cards team for the same program. Other coordination initiatives will be like, for example, there will be product owner sync up meetings wherein weekly PO sync up or as frequent as per need. Those meetings are required for making sure that all team level backlog is aligned with the program and all functional dependencies and risks has been taken care of. In these meetings, all product owners of program teams will collaborate with their program level product managers. At times, Scrum Master or functional representative of program teams may also participate. And there might also have architect at program level. For example, architect at program level will be taking technical decisions for program teams and making sure that all modules and teams are having compatible technology. For example, also a program architect also makes sure of building an architectural runway, which means technical base or foundation or framework for the whole program to enable all teams to meet their technical and functional goals. And architect at program level works very closely with the product manager to understand the program vision and to create a technical vision for the program, or direct and guide program teams on the architectural path. And there will be also a release train engineer, which means chief scrum master at program level, and RTE is a chief scrum master at program level, and he or she coordinates with all teams scrum masters of the same program, just as scrum master is responsible and is a servant leader for the team to remove any bottleneck or impediments and make sure that team is following processes and is on track with the team's goals. Likewise, RTE or Chief Scrum Master at program level makes sure that all the teams of the program follows processes. For example, engineering practices for writing good quality code, or maybe code reviews are happening. RTE will make sure all these things are taken care of, and teams are working. For example, teams are writing unit tests or automation scripts are written and following same processes and tools in all teams. Similarly, teams may also follow, or scrum masters specifically, they may follow scrum of scrum meetings. Just like PO sync up meetings, scrum of scrum meetings are for all the scrum masters for program teams to coordinate together along with the release train engineers. And key representative of respective teams may also be a part of the meetings as necessary. Now, let's also discuss about system team at program level. System team plays a very critical role at program level to integrate all submodules of the program, and they make sure that program builds one system and a working software which must be well tested and as per the program goals. System team is also responsible for system demos at the end of the program increment. Now let's look at solution level. Now that we have program layers and product managers taking care of respective programs, we need key people who will also take ownership of the whole system. For example, banking system as a whole, who will take system level decisions or removing functional and technical dependencies between programs. For example, various programs such as personal banking, corporate banking, loans and investments, and they will make sure that the same processes are followed through all the programs in the banking system. So all of this is taken care at solution level. And all of these challenges as layers where solution managers will own the backlog of whole system and will coordinate with all product managers at their respective programs. Similarly, solution architect will own and drive the technical leadership for a whole banking system and will coordinate and provide technical path and guidance to each architect of their respective programs for the banking system. Likewise, solution trained engineer will make sure that same processes are followed throughout all the programs for whole of the system, and the system team will make sure that one working solution is delivered with best quality and market expectations. And all these key actors at solution level coordinate with each other and down below for the better coordination and collaboration for meeting business goals. Weekly sync up meetings or meetings as frequently as necessary would be conducted for making sure that everyone is on the same page and driving common goals through agile release train and program increments. Effective and efficient communication is the key in whole organization from top to bottom and vice versa, be it related to functional or technical requirements grooming, or maybe risks, dependencies, course corrections, or removing impediments and whatnot. So effective collaboration between all these levels are really needed for a successful deliverables. Now at last we have portfolio level. As we talked about banking system, there could be other bigger and larger systems as well that an organization may want to work upon. For example, how about if we also want to build some bigger any ERP systems or some other healthcare systems or some CRM in parallel with the banking system. So here portfolio management would help us in approving the budgets and respective system initiatives based on cost and benefit analysis, and to take help from enterprise level architects for taking technical decisions for all systems and to make sure of reusing the technology and building same frameworks throughout systems as per feasibility. So these were some details about team, program, solution and portfolio level. Now let's move on to the aspects how teams work in SAFe and how the delivery happens in SAFe. So in SAFe, project or product delivery happens through program increment. It's a tool through which scaled agile framework delivers faster value to market. Program increment could be of 8 to 12 weeks long, although the ideal duration is of 10 weeks, which means having 4 development iterations, where each iteration ideally is of 2 weeks. And the whole idea behind such small iterations, which is only 2 weeks of each iteration, it is to have faster learning cycles and to aim faster time to market. This way, the program increment will consist of 5 iterations. Each iteration of 2 weeks, as you can see in this picture of program increment cycles. And any program increment starts with a PI planning. It is an event which occurs at a very beginning of the program increment where all program teams are focused towards planning for the program increment goals. Here, 2-day planning is dedicated for identifying delivery goals, risks and dependencies. It is the heart of program increment and foundation for the agile release train to deliver value at the end of the program increment. PI objectives are also derived during this planning phase to measure the PI success, wherein PI objectives could be the enablers for different teams and key goals defined as success criteria. Through PI planning, program teams also get insights to their iteration goals, which helps them prioritize their backlog and their tasks accordingly. And after PI planning, team starts to work on development iterations, which consists of 4 development iterations. And here, each development iteration is of 2 weeks, which consists of plan, do, check, and adjust event. Wherein plan means the PI planning event as the first step of PDCA cycle, and do means PI execution, for example, execution through the development of the feature through implementing code for the functionality. And then check represents the system demo through which the iteration results are validated by PO, client, or client's representative. And finally, the inspect and adapt, which is A and I, it is the adjust step in PDCA cycle. Now coming back to program increment, it consists of PI planning to start with, and then 4 development iterations followed with 1 innovation and planning iteration during end of the program increment. And at, at the end of the program increment, this innovation and planning iteration serves multiple purposes. It partially keeps some buffer to meet PI objectives, and it provides dedicated time for innovation, learning, and education, and also involves PI planning for next program increment. It also reserves time for inspect and adapt event for demoing the system, measuring success, getting client feedback, followed with retrospective and problem solving workshops for improving deliveries and processes. Now that we are aware what SAFe is and how it helps us in scaling the Agile and managing deliveries or deliverables through bigger and multiple teams working together, so here is the case studies or results depicted by Scaled Agile Framework body of knowledge. And Scaled Agile Framework helps increase productivity, happier and motivated employees, and defect reduction and faster time to market.